Foodservice Power Plant Network. It's Jason. Welcome. You are going to love tonight's conversation. Rudy Miick of the Miick Companies is someone I'd heard about for years when I was on the MOFSI board and floating around the industry. And it's been really fun to connect with him during this unique time and learn more about what he does. We are so aligned in terms of heart, in terms of purpose, in terms of passion. Tonight, we're going to talk about ways that he and the Miick Companies help food service organizations and so many companies outside food service. I think they're in 11 different industries, focus on purpose, on passion, on values, conscious decisions, knowing the end goal and working backwards, which of course works both in food service and so many different industries. Regardless of your business, it's such a practical tool and way to develop a company from the inside out. Get ready for a great conversation with Rudy Miick. Thanks for joining us.
I see it saying it's now streaming live on Facebook. Hi, everybody.
We did it, Rudy. Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. Everybody, Foodservice Power Plant Network. It is so great to be with you this Wednesday night. Wednesday nights have come to be my favorite night of the week, frankly. There's always a fun new conversation. You are going to love tonight's conversation with Rudy Miick. And it's a great way that we get to connect. And remember, as we're going to talk to Rudy tonight, hear some of his background, hear his passions, what he does, his role in the industry, how he helps businesses. And you're also going to learn a lot about his heart and just who he is as a person. Because, I mean, Rudy, in my times that we've had to connect through COVID, really, probably starting, 4 months ago or so, yeah. I think it's the soul that you bring to businesses and helping businesses recognize that piece and acknowledge that piece in what they're doing as they're looking for, in addition to what other things they're hoping to accomplish. I think it's helping them recognize who are you as a company, as a soul, as a spirit, if you will.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You do it as much as anyone else. So everyone watching tonight, remember, I'm going to try to see it. It's a little bit harder on Zoom, but I'm going to try to look at it in the group and you can ask questions. Hopefully I will see them. If you have my number, you can text me if I'm lucky and you see questions in the group that I'm not seeing. One of my buddies out there, maybe Eric's on, I have no idea. Just text me questions if I can't track them. And that will be, we'll have a blast. So Rudy first. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. I'm beginning to wonder if we should have a text jamboree. The guys that know my cell number, whatever.
Let's go group text thread. Eric, Chad, if you're watching, connect us all.
Okay.
That'd be a blast.
There it is. There you go.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay, Rudy.
It won't be a competition. It will be a collaboration.
Oh, absolutely. Undeniable. Right. Okay, first, how the heck are you?
Good, actually.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, I am well. My family's well. Our clients are well. Without getting too much into politics, I exhale deeply and wish our country well, whatever proclivity any of us have. And within that, barreling forward with purpose and bestness for our industry. So staying present.
You said that beautifully. I love it. And I guess we'd be remiss. I mean, I was in the field all day, so I wasn't following. There's a lot of certainly anxiety today in particular in part of the country and some more, race challenges and decisions, whether people like them or not. And to your point, so we want to acknowledge anyone that is struggling right now or hurting and wants to see whatever level of change, whatever you're hoping for, whatever side of the aisle you're on. And well said, Rudy, we're with you wherever you are. And it's important that we acknowledge, that we recognize, as fun as these conversations are, there's a lot of heavy things going on tonight and we want to recognize it.
Well, and yes, absolutely indeed. And the very essence of what we do in the food service industry, whether we're equipment guys, manufacturing, because the restaurateurs, us as restaurateurs, can't do anything without the equipment guys. So whether it's equipment or marketing or delivery, meaning restaurants producing and getting food out, we are in the restoral business. We are actually in the healing and health business. in the wellness business, and to not know that, to just think we're in the I'm selling a sandwich business, so it is missing an opportunity. And so consequently, all the more reason, frankly, to bring up the political scenario, not out of weight, out of and burden, but out of opportunity and out of what our work is actually about, is healing and health and wellness and literally restoral of soul. So it starts with us. If people don't eat, and I can't eat without making the food, right? Unless, God bless vegans. And simultaneously, we're all connected in the betterment of a nation, of a continent, of a globe. And if we don't wake up to that, we're missing opportunity. So how's that for a start?
Wow. Okay. The heck with every question I asked that I sent you ahead of time. I got a feeling we're going to take a left turn. Where, at what, I love it that it is our industry that you see is playing a significant role in having the ability to touch and restore the soul of a country, a soul of its people.
Well, I think about this. I haven't said this in a long time. Other than the medical industry, other than medicine, so if not now, when? Other than medicine, we are the only industry in the world that is allowed legally to give people things to ingest.
Okay.
We're the only industry in the world that is allowed to legally give you something to ingest in your body other than medicine.
Okay.
Legally, right? Yep. So it's like, okay, wake up. Now we got to do our numbers right. We got to train our people right. We've got to hire right. We've got to, I mean, I'm not suggesting this is simple and airy fairy. I'm saying it's both. It's this big stretch of unbelievable opportunity and vision of what we actually do, whether it's a food cart or a full service upscale dining room.
Yep.
And it's as simple as it's that big picture, and it's also the details of where do I put the salt and pepper, where do I put the screw in the equipment, and it's a both and. I don't know any business that's like this, actually. I mean, it's what I love.
So the food is the medium.
The food is the medium, and the service.
And the service is the medium, right?
Yeah.
As you look at, so for someone who sees what they do as just giving someone a sandwich, or any restaurant that doesn't see the vision you see, that higher level purpose in, what would you offer them to see their higher vision? Why do they get to have the role in terms of healing the soul of a nation or bringing people together in times of incredible levels of conflict internally in the country right now, and angst? How would you speak to that person in terms of, here's what you get to do for the country?
Whether I've got a food cart on a corner or a food truck going to a neighborhood or a community center gatherings point, or a corner sub sandwich place or falafel joint or a pizza joint or whatever it might be, there are certainly times where food is fuel. I just need something quick. I need to just consume calories. Even that, right? If you haven't had water in a day, the water is the best water you've ever had, right? No matter if the banana is perfect or the banana is dark brown, if I haven't had food in 2 days, the banana is going to be lovely. Mm-hmm. It's going to be heaven, right? So the opportunity, there's so many operators out there, and frankly, even chains that get consumed in, we don't even use the word restaurant, we say units or stores or whatever. But to me, what's always hit me since the time I was a little kid was whether it's an ice cream cone, whether it's a sub sandwich, it's a falafel, it's a taco, or it's haute cuisine, I'm delivering this thing and I make a difference in your life.
Yeah.
Either that, or here it is, and it's $2, and what do you mean you want me to break a 5? Right? It's either a pain in the ass job, or it's this thing, right? It's there's this great old story, right? The most probably anybody that's listening has heard of the hod carrier carrying bricks up to the top of a mountain, and a monk sitting on the side of the road, right? And says, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm carrying bricks up the hill because this guy's paying me." Here comes another hod carrier. "Well, what are you doing?" "Well, they are building a cathedral and I'm paid to carry bricks up there." Finally, the third guy comes by and the monk says, "Hey, what are you doing?" He goes, I'm building a cathedral." Right? I mean, it's that opportunity.
Yep.
Another case in point, a life-changing turn for me was when Armstrong landed on the moon, right? And in those days, there were only 3 networks. CBS was carrying coverage, and they were at NASA. And I remember viscerally, I was 18 years old. I was just a kid. And CBS interviewed a janitor, right? And she's clearly, it was a woman, Hispanic woman. And here's this janitor's cart, right? And clearly a janitor. She's got her jumpsuit on, her NASA badge, but it's this janitor's cart. And the CBS guys, it still chokes me up.
Oh.
So on camera, they go, ma'am, what do you do here at NASA?" And she goes, "I'm putting a man on the moon." Right?
Wow.
And so I'm 18. I don't know, I've carried that energy to our clients and to our own restaurants. It's like, you can just have a job. We can just open a restaurant with my dough, and I can hoard it, and I can be scared to death that you're going to steal my money, or I can
Right.
build a cathedral or put somebody on the moon. And now, okay, so again, that sounds really light and fluffy. Now roll up our sleeves and put the damn systems in place to track my money, track my cost of goods, put money in for training and a line item on a P&L. Do this because it's business. However, hold the vision of putting a man on the moon or a woman on the moon, and do both of those things and kick ass.
Yeah. It's
Not one or the other. It's like both. Bang, go.
yeah.
So anyway.
Well, I guess it's hard to put a man on the moon if your systems aren't accurate, right?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So it's this, of course, there are long days, and and boy, everybody out there that's going, whether they're a manufacturer, coming from your background and Eric's and other guys that you named earlier,
Yep.
or my background in restaurants and carts and food trucks long before food trucks were fashionable. The point is, okay, well, yeah, I have this vision, but these are exceedingly long days, right? I'm running the restaurant, I'm doing the business, but then I've got to do the business of the business. So I'm not trying to make light of what we do. It's not simple.
Sure.
But and at the same time, early on, I know one of the things you and I had talked about earlier was early on, I was just so fortunate to be mentored by guys that were systems guys, right? And the way my brain thinks was like, hey, I actually want to be at the bar having a scotch, not doing books in the back or not walking the floor. I want the business to run itself.
Yep.
So we were systems. I was a systems guy from my early 20s, and so it's put systems in place and go to the moon. Without the systems, you can't get to the moon.
Right. And if you only think you're just the janitor, then
Yeah,
you want everyone to have that passion and be on that same mission and know that their role is every bit as important.
right, exactly. So then that goes back full circle to a food cart on the corner. I'm just the janitor. I'm just a food cart guy. No, no, no. This is going to be the best falafel you've had in your life. This is the best taco, right? I mean, welcome to street food, right? This is going to be the best. And if you're back in the day, right, pre-COVID, God help us all. I mean, some carts have a line 20 people long, and some carts are just sitting there all by themselves. And it's like, okay, which one are you going to go to?
Yeah, no kidding.
And it's the guy, if I'm only a cart vendor, that's probably what you'll be. And if I'm feeding the soul, pretty soon I'll own 10 carts, and here we go. Anyway, we kind of jumped into the deep end of the pool here, but
Oh, I friggin' love it, man. I've never liked the shallow water, but I know it's certainly relevant. Okay, real quick, Rudy. So give us a quick. By the way, when you were talking about passion and purpose and the janitor, our buddy Taz works for Walmart corporate down in
oh,
Bentonville,
nice,
Arkansas, I think. He
cool,
said, "Amen" with a little fist bump. So
nice.
is tracking. I love it, Taz.
Thanks, Taz.
Rudy, give just a quick background to us of your story. Of when you said you were 20s and you had some system guys. What's just some of your progression in the food service industry to where you are today?
Okay, so I'll do this as quick as I can.
Okay.
The highlights were that my dad was an entrepreneur before the word existed, really. So and he's exceedingly blue collar and a union guy. So my background is that very, very working class blue collar. That said, he had an ice cream store. He made 34 flavors of ice cream from scratch with an 18% butter count back in the 50s. He opened his business. I found out later he opened the same year Baskin and Robbins did. And at any rate, he made 34 flavors of ice cream, and we literally had a curtain between our living quarters in the back of the store and the store. So we lived, I know it now, I can still vision his first store. We lived in what was the kitchen of a bigger facility and a curtain. So anyway, he sold ice cream, if you can imagine, 18% butter count ice cream for a nickel a scoop. That's how old I am. And so by the time I was 5 in 6, I was scooping I knew how to scoop ice cream and make change for $1. And the rule was quality, cleanliness, big smile, say hello and goodbye with a smile on your face, and yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. I mean, it was just keep it clean, high quality, do the right thing the right way. Period. That was it. That's the secret. And that never went away. And then another big headline was that a lot of people don't know this, but I was a bit of a protege in music very early. I started playing instruments when I was 4. And so I was always on stage with music. And I was playing with university orchestras by the time I was in middle school. and playing professionally in high school and stuff. At any rate, the picture was always there's pre-performance, performance, and then post-production, which is how do we make the show better tomorrow? So pre-production, how do we make it the best we can be? Performance, great. Post-production, make it better tomorrow. And ironically, that picture leads right to opening a new restaurant or opening a manufacturing plant. It's like, okay, here we are, pre-production, what do we need? Including budgets. Production, great, we finished the day, how do we make it better tomorrow? And whether you're opening or you're 20 years in, every single day is that performance process. So that happened. Third was, I'll leapfrog forward. In my early 20s, I was mentored. I was just so fortunate. I was mentored by an investment banker and an Olympic coach that were a partnered team of restaurateurs in Colorado, Southern Colorado. And we were doing daily costing, yield analysis stuff by hand to the 10th of a point in the 70s. So when we were doing shotgun P&Ls, that is weekly financial forecasts by hand every week in a 48 seat restaurant in Southern Colorado. So that coupled with the music and the simplicity of service. And then there was another headline kind of between music and my 20s of I was playing music, and I got the good fortune of staying at the Breakers Hotel, which is one of 53 five-star hotels in the United States. And I spent a whole season at the Breakers. And I got to know the resident man, and I was 18, right? And the resident manager, and again, I come from really blue collar, just simple food. And my life began to open to what five-star meant. And I asked the manager one day, I'll never forget, I was walking down the hall with him and said, so how do you do this? Right. And I was beginning to realize that music, that hospitality was drawing me actually even more than music. And he said, so how do you do this thing? And he goes, well, Rudy, how do you make this experience happen? And he just looked at me, and I'll never forget. Just direct eye contact, like you and I are in the moment, even on Zoom. He goes, simple. The answer is yes. What's your question? Huh. The answer is yes. What's your question? Tie that to yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yeah. Here's your change for $1. Safety, sanitation. Wash your hands after you serve the ice cream.
Yeah,
pre-production, performance, post-production every day. Do your numbers every day. And it's like 40 years later, it's like 1,700 restaurants later, it works. It's not, now we add technology and we can do a flash report in milliseconds and yippee, right? But it's basically the game is the game.
Okay, so Rudy, I love it, by the way. The answer is yes.
What's the question?
Honestly, what a fun way to live life to me.
Yeah.
It's fun saying, it's so fun wanting to say yes to people, just help their dreams become reality, whatever they want in the moment, whether it's an extra thing, a ketchup,
right,
or they have this vision they've dreamt about for 40 years, they want to turn into reality.
Right.
And what a cool way to live.
Right. And so this doesn't mean to the audience, I don't mean to say, oh, you want $10,000 and I've got 10,005, then I'm going to say, yes, here's $10,000. I don't mean, so this is not a literal translation. However, it is the next thing to literal, which is how do I posit my response to, yes, here's what I can do.
Sure.
So I remember, I'll never forget. I mean, go back to the first restaurant that I became a partner in. We were a steakhouse with a salad bar, right? And we served prime beef. But I remember guests coming in occasionally and saying, well, could you make me a sandwich? Well, we don't have sandwiches on the menu, but we did have bread in the back. You know what? I'll make you a sandwich, or I'll go down to the corner and get some bread, or get some bread from one of the competitors. I can make you a sandwich. We've got the other ingredients. We've got lettuce, we've got tomatoes. I can make you a steak sandwich if that's really what you want. The answer is yes, I'll make it happen, right? As opposed to, that's not on the menu, I'm not going to do that.
Right, sure.
Right? So whatever. I mean, so what can I say yes to? Here's what I can do. You'd like to sit there instead of here? Of course, no problem. Especially even now, right? I mean,
it's a spirit by which you bring it, and who wouldn't want to be a part of that, or go into a restaurant where, and I get it, if you can't say yes to absolutely everything, but anything within your power that you can, it's a fun way to live. Shannon Solomon says, be the best version of yourself always, no matter your current title. Shannon, preach,
yeah.
sister.
Yes.
Mike G's on, Warren's on, a few other people. Dirk Happy. Dirk, welcome. This sounds, frankly, Dirk sent with a week.
So let's carry. I love that you're taking comments as we go. This is killer. So to Shannon's comment,
yep.
So here's the role of leadership and managers and owners. Not only for me to be the best I can be, but how do I coach my team to be the best each of us, not they, each of us can be, shift by shift, hour by hour, because we all have bad days. Sometimes I'm going to make a bad hire, whatever the case may be. How do I coach to the positive so my team elevates themselves and is inspired, right? Staff, so the only thing I would edit to Shannon's comment is it's we, not just I.
Sure.
So how does that become an entry door into my company? Again, whether I'm a manufacturer, whether I'm a supplier, whether I'm a restaurateur, whether I've got a cart, is like every one of us on the team, the entry fee is performance.
I don't know if you know Shannon, but
I don't. Well,
fascinating that you're speaking to her right now, because she is the school nutrition director, food service nutrition director for Aurora Public Schools. I think 2 weeks ago or so, they just served their 2 millionth meal of COVID.
Wow.
Right?
Bravo. Shannon, you need to meet Greg Christian from Beyond Green. Yeah.
We'll connect them.
Congratulations on the 2 millionth meal. One of the sad blessings of this whole experience we're going through is to wake up to the reality of kid hunger in the country, and how do we solve that, right? So bravo to kid feeding at school, and without those programs, whew.
Right.
So anyway, sorry.
Talk about serving a bigger purpose right now, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Joe Carcione is saying, Rudy, I've never met you, sir, but I think your thought process is amazing. Joe is a leader of a manufacturer out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, I think.
Wow, cool.
Great guy.
Thank you.
George Boutique is saying, leading by example. George, absolutely. I don't know any other way to lead, probably effectively, than to some degree, by example.
Well, that could be a conversation, because there are options, but they're not very healthy.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, well played. Yeah,
in my experience.
Eric McPherson is on. Yo, Eric. He says, "Thank you both. Much love, Eric. Love back to you, brother." And Chris Filari, Chef Chris Filari, was on last week. He is the global director of culinary for Sodexo around the world, and he's asking a question. Tell him about Beyond Green. What is Beyond Green?
Chris, thanks for all the work you're doing, and best wishes to Sodexo and everything you guys are going through. Rock on. So Beyond Green is Greg Christian is a phenomenal 5-star chef, Chicago based. He is doing, his resume is just amazingly cool. He's a really good guy. Greg is the founder of a company called Beyond Green. Beyond Green's focus as a consulting company has been on sustainable zero waste food production for restaurants and schools, B&I food service. And he's been focused on that way early on, right? Way early. I've known him for about 15 years now, and he was doing this before way before it was fashionable. Here's what he's really cool. Why I mentioned Shannon and Chris with anything you're doing with Sodexo. He's been working most recently in Hawaii, which is where I was raised, with school food service there, also in the state of Utah, a couple other states, working with integrating organic food, whole food production as opposed to cans and mass-produced GMO'd food is like, especially with kids, how do we integrate food service with food production, with food growth within a profitability model that actually the food production, cost of production, if you guys in the audience can imagine, they're actually reducing food costs by about 30%. So dropping it by 7, 8, 9 points, involving kids into actually eating organic vegetables with fun, right? Actually consuming that food. A lot of school districts, I don't follow this much anymore, but I know, like when I was a kid in Hawaii, all the kids would work in the cafeterias, right? And I think that still happens in a lot of states, but it definitely still happens in Hawaii. So at any rate, so with the kids in elementary, middle school, even high school, and Chris, this is absolutely doable with B&I and college food service, wherever we end up with COVID, is here's, again, all the things that we're saying. So here's food production, actually planting the seeds, caring for the soil. So literally doing organic gardens, growing it out, and then what they can't produce enough, ordering from vendors, but short haul, all things sustainable and green. So Beyond Green, getting zero waste, lower food production, so the schools end up with a lower food budget, higher feeding, better production, and oh, by the way, I'm not blowing smoke, grades are going up, absenteeism is disappearing. I mean, just unbelievable. Now, where he and I align, way back in the day, in the 80s, I had my company based in LA. What Greg and I are working on now, what I was doing in the 80s in LA with the home economics program, it was called Hero in California. Now it's called something else. I can't remember. At any rate, we literally built restaurants in high schools for the kids. So now you take food service, here's biology, nutrition, whatever. I apologize for all the science misses here, but so biology and chemistry, take the food, plant it, watch it grow, and build all these programs in the schools out of the food. chemistry, biology, math. We're going to build a menu. Here's what it costs to grow the food. Here's what it costs to produce the food. So here's how you get a menu price. Here's how you make change. So suddenly food equals math. Food equals biology and chemistry. Food equals English. Oh, and good manners, because now we're going to serve food. And literally, so those are all the things that Greg is doing. I'm sorry for I wish somebody would give me a pitch like that.
No kidding.
At any rate, so Shannon, you need to hire this guy. School districts need his program, and our communities need what he's doing. And companies like Sodexo and, bravo, Chris, for asking the question. Greg is on the cutting edge. And again, he takes these culinary skills from schooling and proof of concept, right? A restaurateur, as am I, putting it into production, putting it into education, putting it into feeding and healthiness. And oh, by the way, it becomes curriculum. How cool is that? We could do the same thing on college campuses as well. Easy.
Oh, so radical. Chris says, sounds amazing. I got a feeling we're going to connect you and Chris, Rudy. Chris is actually speaking tomorrow. Chris is speaking tomorrow for the Food for Climate League on their webinar, and calling join the Food Climate League's quest to resolve global warming through food. And one of his huge initiatives, and Sodexo's, is using the entire, he was on last week, use every bit of the cauliflower.
100%.
Yeah. And so, I have a feeling Chris is going nuts over there. He says would love to connect and learn more. That'll be fun. That's really neat.
Yeah, no, fabulous. How fun is this, right? So yes to that opportunity and that dialogue. And now, think of what was just said. What if we taught, if we timbre the conversation just for a moment, right? The industry is down 40%. It just sucks. So many people are out of work. Governments are asking us to run our restaurants, those of us that have restaurants, at 25% or 50%. And if at 75, God forbid, right, whether you believe in COVID or not, the data is there, it's going to transmit. So whatever. But at 25%, the numbers don't work. So we've got to do delivery and carry out and ghost kitchens and whatever magic we can do. But if we could teach operators to wake up and use the whole cauliflower, or use the whole asparagus, or use the whatever's in season in the moment, use all the trim instead of throwing away a chunk that is 18% of my cost, and more so buy only what I need, right? There's a whole, again, how do I change the world, and how do I inspire, how do I restore someone's soul? I can't do it if I'm out of business. I must run my numbers and go for both. Guess what? Both can occur at the same time. I get so frustrated at times where people are talking now. I know you're aware of B Corps and 1% back and all that stuff. There's so much fluff out there about, profit or people, profit or purpose. It's like, no, it's both. And guess what? If I work on purpose, I get more profit. That's what happens with our restaurants and our clients. There's more sales, more revenue, more retention, more profit. It's not an either or. We got to change that picture some way.
Why do you think people think it's either or, that it's profit or purpose?
I don't know. I wish I knew. It seems so obvious to me that it's a both and. The picture of both and is a hard one for a lot of people to hold on to. It's like, oh, it's this way, right? I mean, so here's a transition. How do I, if I'm the picture of a manager, right? The second I'm maybe this great team member, great employee, and I become a manager, which equates to put a badge on my chest. And the picture of the badge on my chest is now I'm a cop. And so now I'm going to police you and I'm going to catch you doing something wrong. What if the opportunity of a manager was to be a coach, Olympic coach, that says, yes, you cut this split better than you ever have. You're off by only 14 seconds to take your performance further, to get through the 14 seconds. Instead of swinging your arms this way, move them forward and aft in the direction of travel. That's what we call coaching to the positive. Instead of saying no, slap your hands, say yes and, right? There's an opportunity, and that both and of purpose and or people is just easier to hold. It's like, no. Here, in the last few years, I've been tracking a whole bunch of research on our work over decades, thousands of clients, and looking at other research as well, and with brain physiology and work. And as we're in what's showing up for us irrefutably is people work for three reasons. I must have a job. I need money, right? I mean, welcome to recession. Welcome to a political choice of a country, whatever. I must work. I don't care what the work is. I need a job. Likely that's going to be kind of neutral. I don't even like food service. I don't like getting sweaty. I've been sitting at a desk all my life. Now you're asking me to pull a 7-hour shift and and run, and oh my God. So I work, and we call that neutral, right? So for the operators listening, and even the ones from chains that have a quote hiring system in place, but the system breaks down. And when do we interview? We interview when somebody gives their notice, or worse, after they leave. We throw a sign up and we go, help wanted, right? And we settle for a pulse and a warm body, right? That's that middle place. I just need a job. Second is related to I need a job, which is I'm threatened. So in some bizarre way, I'm working in a place that the managers scold me, they police me, I'm never good. It's only, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Why'd you do that? Right? For any of the listeners, if you resonate with, right, we've all worked for folks like that along the way, right? Amazingly enough, some people actually relish that work because it fits into how they were raised or whatever, and that's a whole other program. But what's interesting in that threatened environment or the neutral environment is if we let people in that just need a job, or even more so, the culture is a threat or fear, the A+ players, the ones that take initiative, that lead the pack, that go, hey, what can I do next? I love the idea, right? You made a brand promise to me, but now you're slapping me, right? The A+ players that wake up and go, dude, I can work anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't need this job. I can go down the street, even on as big as the unemployment line is, I can get a job anywhere. They're gone. And who you're left with is, I just need a job, folks. The third alternative is I'm an inspired worker. I want to be inspired, which is frankly, in my mind, most people. I want to be inspired, or I come in inspired, and all we have to do is inspire them, coach them to the positive, that miler program or run or whatever that I alluded to. And all of a sudden, retention goes up, sales go up, guest engagement goes up, performance on the shop floor goes up, whatever it might be. If I'm inspired, right, life is a lot easier.
It's it seems like something a lot of my friends, a lot of the world is starving for. Is
Yeah, and to your point, full circle, and I apologize for kind of rambling on. That be on purpose and make money doing it. I mean, the money shows up in buckets when we do this right. My clients currently, for sure, everybody went through shock, but we course corrected quickly. We were nimble in decision making. Every one of our clients is profitable. Everyone is cash positive. 2 of them are up 40%. Why? Because they're inspiring their team on a daily basis, not scolding them.
Rudy, real quick, who, by the time, I mean, we've got about 10 minutes left. We may have, I think we've only done one question.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's
Okay.
the whole point is, I love these when it just know where it goes, right? There's no right or wrong on how this needs to happen.
Okay, so good. Well, thanks to Chris and Shannon and all the other folks on the Eric and everybody.
Oh, totally.
Okay, 10 minutes. Let's go.
Everybody's excited. No, well, so real quick, I want your clients. You're not going to tell us who they are by name. That's not what I'm asking. But who comes to Miick, to your company, and what do they come to you looking to do? So anybody watching, you know, Chris or Shannon or restaurant owners watching, I mean, because you are just listening to you, Rudy, is so fascinating. I mean, you have so much insight and story and passion and soul. And I have a feeling everyone on the planet would love to be like, oh my gosh, I'd love a meal with this guy to learn. But who comes to your companies to get better? Is it any restaurant? Is it a school district? Is it who's coming to you and why are they coming to you and your company?
It's a great question. Thank you. Thanks for asking it. 99% of our clients are for profit.
Okay.
So we're all about making money. That's for sure. That said, the nonprofits with whom we work, we show up with equal success, and that's another dialogue. But so about 1% are nonprofits. Everybody else is for profit. I started out in the independent restaurant business. Then we started building chains. On the first recession of my life, we started doing turnarounds. So we do in those markets all three. So startup, turnaround, growth. In all of that function, we work with leaders and teams to get that both and sense of purpose, guided by values to achieve a definitive vision. So if you've got those tools, so here's would be our typical client. I've got this sense of biggerness, but I don't know how to do it. So we act as coach, confidant, partner. So we would work very much where most consulting companies come from let me tell you what to do. We much more work like a mountain guide, climbing with you. First, we're going to get you in shape. Second, whatever in shape means. So we're going to check fitness. Then we're going to get in shape and we're going to climb whatever mountain we choose to climb, but you're going to carry your own gear. So early on, I was an answer giver, right? In my early years. Now we teach the company and the system to do their own work and leave them with systems that are really solid so that the systems outlive the management team and the evolution of the leadership. We actually work now in 11 different industries. So the sweet spot is still restaurants and hospitality. However, the cool piece of our business in restaurants is it's every business in one. We're manufacturers, we're retail, we're accounting, we're HR, we're R&D, we're safety and sanitation, we're service, we're marketing, we do all of these different things. And we're repair, right? We'll fix an issue if it's wrong. We do that under one roof, metaphorically. We do it under one roof. We do it hundreds of times a day with a 0 defects guarantee, with 100% money back guarantee. And so about 15 years ago, I realized, well, wait a minute, this will work for fitness. This works for manufacturing plants, companies. This works for, frankly, automotive. It works for retail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So pretty much the answer is yes. What's your question? We can improve performance. And the other piece is, it doesn't really matter what the concept is. I mean, I started in fine dining, but we've done every ethnic food. I've done Korean food, Chinese, Japanese, Mexican, Italian, whatever you name it. So the food is not, the chefs will hate this. Chris, you might hate what I'm about to say. The food is actually irrelevant, except that it's the best effing food we could possibly put out, whatever the check average is, whatever the plate cost is. So whatever the food is, it's the best, whether it's a $2 or a $200 ticket.
Yeah.
And then from there, the cool part is service and manufacturing performance is rock star level. We define excellence in every step. So we just need to say, what's the vision? What's our purpose? How are the values aligned? And what we're really good at is taking those tools that I just named, purpose, values, vision, and turning them actually into business tools, not just something sitting on the wall.
Sure.
So anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. That's the juice of what we do. I'd love to talk to anybody that feels like they want to talk. So.
Yeah, I mean, Rudy, just listening to that. Dwayne is on, Jeff is on, Ben is on, Lori's on. Hi, everybody. I can't imagine there is a manager or a business owner, and I'm looking at the group of people here, lots of business owners, lots of them, lots of leaders. Certainly Chris is, leading culinary globally.
Yeah. Well, so let me say one other piece.
Yep.
The median net profit in the restaurant industry, let's not worry about manufacturing in the moment. In the restaurant industry in the US, median net profit is 3%. If you're not generating 15 to 18%, call us, because that's what our clients generate, even now. Wow. So all of this is about the magic of when we do business right. I love business. When we do it right, the money shows up in buckets. And people love performance, and yeah, there's discipline to do it for sure. So
I can't imagine there's anyone watching. Ben is giving a thumbs up and a prayer sign to you. He's loving
Namaste.
what you're preaching. I can't imagine there's anyone watching who doesn't recognize in their own business, if they're paying attention, the opportunity to grow in any of those areas. Certainly a desire to grow in profit, but in terms of inspiring your team, helping them to be the best versions of themselves. Go ahead, Rudy.
No, you're spot on. I love where you're going. Is the money is the bonus. We actually get to make the people on our team better human beings.
Yeah.
It's like, and hopefully us too, right? I mean, there's no business like it, man. I mean, it's just, oh my God, it's so fun.
So, well, what a time right now. And obviously it's a weird time, but for anyone watching, all my friends watching on this, if you're in the Food Service Power Plant Network, it's because you care, right? And you're committed to community, and you're committed to lifting your team up. That's a part of why we're doing it. this whole thing. And so, real quick, where do people find you, Rudy? Where do they go find your company? Website or anything like that?
Thanks for asking that. Our website is miick.com. So it's my last name, M as in Michael with 2 I's, MIICK.com. And our phone numbers, contacts, and everything are there. Phone number is 303-413-0400. And I'm a phone call away. Our brand standard is to pick up in 3 rings or less. So
I love it. You are Rudy, I can't tell you how grateful I am for you. Here's the good news. We got to virtually no question that was in the Word document I sent you. So the good news is, my hope is we're going to do another one of these at some point in the not too distant future. And because you've got such a cool story, and I know some of the personal stuff you've gone through, there's been a lot. You know what perseverance means and looks like, and how to grow your business at the same time going through a lot of challenge, and how those two work together. And I mean, everybody, if you're watching, I don't know, we'll get Rudy back on. And
cool. I'd love that.
It'll be a blast. This has been, I don't know, I'm just really glad to know you as a person and learn from you as a professional and a person, I guess I'd say.
Well, I'm very touched by that, and right back to you. So the image mirrors. I appreciate what you're doing with this network, and to everybody watching. And we together, we can make a difference. We can make the country better, the industry better, every segment of the industry better.
I love it. You're right, Rudy. And that's why we're doing this there's lots of ways to get a message out. The reason we chose community was to do it together. To your point, it's way more fun that way. Everybody, again, Rudy, thank you. We'll get you back on.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody.
And everybody watching, listen, we're grateful you're a part of this community. We always say you're doing it. We're I don't know how many months in, 6 months in or something like that. And you're still at it. You're still growing. You're still learning. You're still pushing yourself. You're still learning how to motivate your team and get new ideas. And for that, we are epically proud. We are doing it together. We're grateful for all the contributions you make and the things you post and the ways you lift others up in a moment of tragedy in the group or a moment of celebration. There's incredible celebration of people recently with some new roles. Let me encourage anyone looking to continue to grow, which is pretty much all of us, reach out to Rudy and his team. They're here to help you in so many ways that I think will be incredibly life-giving. And for any of our friends watching tonight or who are listening to this, who are in a particularly tough moment, know that we understand tough moments, that we all go through them, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Whenever that comes, that there are, I talked about this with a friend today, everybody's got a valley, but there's also peaks. And, if you are in a particularly tough place, remember to reach out to someone that you trust, someone that cares about you. You're always welcome to reach out to me. Always game to listen or connect you with someone if you need, if you need to talk to a therapist, whatever that is. If you're in a tough spot, it's okay. You're normal. This is hard as hell. Yeah. And you know what? You're still going. So lots of love for you. We will do this again next week, and we'll keep posting. I'll be gone the next few days at a wedding, but cheers to everyone. We're grateful for you. Rudy, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.
Everybody have a good night. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.